YouTuber and friend of the channel, Jay from the Drunk3PO channel, has been demonetized by YouTube. Could this be that Disney is putting their finger on the scale yet again because of Jay's association with Gina Carano? Let's talk about that on That Park Place. Hello, I am Jonas J. Campbell, an investigative reporter for That Park Place, and here with me is my YouTube compatriot, Mr. Culture Casino. Culture, are you ready to spin the dice?
I am, absolutely, but I have a feeling that in this case, it might come up snake eyes for somebody.
Yeah, let's talk about this one. YouTube censors Disney and Star Wars critic Drunk3PO. I'm going to tell you something. Jay is not a critic of Star Wars. Jay is a lover of Star Wars. The dude has been searching for months for a Star Wars #1 comic book. For every time I've seen him at a Comic-Con, he's looking for this fabled mint condition. What is it? CGC created. I don't know the actual term here for a mint condition comic book here, but the guy loves Star Wars, and it's very obvious. So when we say Star Wars critic, I would actually move this over and say Disney Star Wars critic. I'm not really harshing what John F. Trent is saying here, but I just like to point out the people who hate Disney and hate Star Wars are actually the people who love Disney and love Star Wars. But let's talk about this. Disney and Star Wars critic Drunk3PO reports that YouTube censored his popular channel that was approaching 100,000 subscribers. There he is. He's a happy fellow. In a post to X, Drunk3PO wrote, "Hey, Team YouTube, can you look into this, please? My channel was demonetized this morning." I'm going to tell you, anybody who was a member on Jay's channel got an email at like 6:30, 7:30 this morning saying that their membership had been canceled. So this is something that one great thing about having members is that everyone knows immediately when YouTube pulls shenanigans like this, which is how I found out that the WDW Pro channel had been demonetized for similar reasons a few months back. Culture, has this happened to you yet?
Thankfully, no, but it's happened to so many of my friends that I have to tell you, it's very familiar to me, and I'm waiting for, unfortunately, and probably shouldn't say this and invite trouble, but I'm waiting for it to happen to me, because as I think everybody gets very close to and or reaches particular thresholds or milestones, I think that they become a bigger and bigger target, because the last thing you can do is allow somebody who can speak freely and well about a subject that's a little bit beyond the pale and goes against the narrative, which oftentimes Jay does. He just does it in the most polite way possible.
He's incredibly polite, and he's not one of those channels where people just go off cursing all the time or cover really spicy subjects. The only thing spicy about it is the fact that the establishment doesn't really want him talking about the things that he's talking about. But let's continue. He shared a screenshot of an email from YouTube informing him, "Our team of policy specialists carefully looked over your channel, Drunk3PO. We found that a significant portion of your channel is not in line with our YouTube partner program policies. As of today, your channel is not eligible to monetize, and you will not have access to monetization tools and features." There is the tweet. And I'm going to say that while this says that a team of policy specialists carefully looked over the channel, I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true at all or in any way. I think some bots looked at this channel. Or if someone looked at the channel, they flagged it for something they didn't like. And then, well, based on my experience, it was a similar flag. Do you want to guess what it is, Culture?
That he likes to hang out with Gina Carano?
That would be very honest on their part, but let's see what response Jay got. In response to another questioning how Drunk3PO shared reused content. Yeah, we got the same thing here. And let me say, I don't think Jay does a lot of even clipping of his own live streams. When YouTube has clarified what reused content means, what they're usually talking about and what they have said that they are talking about is channels that upload like 10 TikToks in a row and just say craziest TikToks of 2023 in the month of April or something like that. People that are basically not transforming in any way, not even reacting in any way. That's what reused content was originally intended for. But it seems like this is being used in a way that is maybe meant to punish people that don't go along with the narrative. I'm going to remind you all that my good friend Jay over there has Welcome to the Rebellion merch that is provided through 9 Line Apparel. Maybe you ought to go get one. I've got my Don't Tread on Me Welcome to the Rebellion hat just sitting right over here next to me. There's other reasons they might be going after him at this time. Team YouTube has responded, instructing him to send a detailed video appeal. Drunk3PO, thanks for reaching out. Have you checked the earn section in Studio? You might be able to submit a more detailed video appeal directly to the review team here. And we can all go click the link if we want. It doesn't do anything for you here. I'm going to say that while Jay probably should go engage in this process, other people that I've spoken to that went through this process, they can see that no one has viewed their appeal video. So, interesting. Why do you think that is, Culture?
Because this wasn't actually viewed by a person. It was done by a bot. It was probably done because of a brigade of complaints by thin-skinned individuals that don't like the things that Jay says, or perhaps a corporation decided to throw around its weight and say, really, this person is hurting us. Why are you platforming them? Please make them go away.
I think you're probably right here. It is unclear if the Walt Disney Company had anything to do with censoring Drunk3PO. However, former The Mandalorian actress Gina Carano implied on X back in October, following the release of South Park joining the Pandaverse, that Kennedy did indeed work with YouTube to censor content creators. That would be Kathleen Kennedy, the head of Lucasfilm. She wrote, "This is the part where KK demands any YouTubers get censored off of YouTube for sharing and laughing at this hilarious episode. She'll have YouTube disable the thumbs down option because of the ratio she'll receive, and she'll have her publicist ghouls make sure Variety and The Hollywood Reporter run hit pieces about the South Park creators and their families, smearing their names through every useful idiot she has under her thumb who would sell their soul to work for Lucasfilm." Carano continued, "She'll activate her online mob to repeat the South Park creators are racist, bigot, etc., and demand South Park creators publicly apologize by only using words she approves of. And finally, she'll demand they subject themselves to re-education course of 45 people in the Alphabet Community Zoom call to sit there and listen of how badly they got their feelings hurt all over a little boop of a South Park episode. But maybe, just maybe, the jig is up." It sounds like Gina might be speaking from personal experience here, and now they're trying to spread the cancellation on to Jay.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, this isn't surprising, and I know that those tweets were a little bit ago, but this is the problem: is that anytime they're met with criticism, they can't take it. What that means is their argument or their creative freedom or whatever isn't strong enough to withstand any kind of criticism. If that's the case, then they don't want that to be exposed. They can't afford for it to be exposed, that there are very few people that agree with them. Disney is one of the biggest companies on the planet. They shouldn't trouble themselves with individuals at all. But maybe they have. Maybe some petty person at Disney has, because of the influence that Jay's began to have. And he's friends with people who are very influential and who've been through this same thing themselves. So you're going to start seeing this more and more frequently as we get closer and closer to the selection of leadership day, I'm afraid.
Oh, yeah. And whatever coward gets the job, we'll get to see how that's all going to shake out. Interestingly, John Trent continues, and I think this is where John Trent is right on the money. Not that he wasn't before. Interestingly, this censorship not only comes as Drunk3PO is closing in on 100,000 subscribers. He currently sits at 98,100, but it also comes just as he's about to launch Achromatic Chronicles Green, a sequel to Achromatic Chronicles Blue. My copy of Blue just showed up, and I'm looking forward to reading it. He posted on August 23rd, "At the airport heading to Toronto, reading over Green again. It's finished and should launch soon. The artwork was done by Eric Hodson. Looks amazing. Can't wait for you to see it. They're going to love this story." I personally am looking forward to whenever Jay drops I don't know if he's doing crowdfund. I don't know if he's doing just a campaign to support it here, but I'm looking for that whenever that shows up. Now, for those of you, because whenever we talk about Jay, whenever we reference Jay on this channel or other channels, somebody always sends the video to Jay. I told Jay that I was going to be recording a video on this, and I invited him to participate. Here is where I would splice to that if he says yes and has the time to record. But he probably does not, because he's a busy guy. He's flying back from Toronto as we speak. So Jay is one of the nicest, kindest people out there on YouTube, and he does not step over the line when it comes to being advertiser friendly, other than there's a couple of corporations that have a problem with him and the people that he associates with. The whole idea of Welcome to the Rebellion, I'm not going to say what he intends for it. For me, it's kind of a speaking truth to power kind of thing, being very open about stuff like this. If Mark Hamill had a YouTube channel, YouTube would be all over that mess. But here we are, despite the way that he talks about half of the country. He's free to say whatever he wants to say. But a guy like Jay over there from Drunk3PO, oh, no. Maybe he repeated himself one time, so they're going to call it reused content. Reused content is a catch-all flag in the YouTube system that is meant to demonetize people and punish them and has no correlation to actual behavior. Maybe I'm putting myself in danger by bringing this up. Culture, is there anything that we should add before we wrap this video up?
Jay is probably the most creative person in the space, and it's more about what his perspectives are than it is about what anything else is being done. So again, I don't think I've ever seen him do reused content. So I don't know. As ambiguous as that is,
I've never seen it either. And I'm also going to point out that Jay's channel, if it got over 100,000 while he's demonetized, I think that would be kind of amazing. Also, when your channel is remonetized, which is possible if enough people go on Twitter and tag the @TeamYouTube account and politely say, hey, Team YouTube, you need to reconsider this. That is the kind of thing that would get it turned back on to monetization. In the months immediately after monetization, though, the algorithm basically starts fresh and tries to determine whether your channel is worth it. I've had some experience with remonetized channels, and this is the moment where it would hurt the most if he's trying to get out the word about Achromatic Chronicles Green. So if you're inclined to go help out Jay, maybe go put notifications on for Twitter or whatever channel he decides he's going to go promote Achromatic Chronicles and whatever campaign he does there. Make sure that you're actually following him. I don't know if he's going to put an email notification thing out on Twitter, X, whatever we want to call it here, but make sure that you are following him at whatever place you think is the best place to follow if you want to learn more about whatever his campaign is. Jay's a super nice guy, and I don't want to say I'm going out of my way to help here. Usually we cover Disney, and I'm going to say maybe this is tangentially related to Disney, but I do think it's related to the Gina Carano thing in a very specific way. So drop your comments below if you've got any on what's going on here. And of course, like this video if you like this video, and consider subscribing to That Park Place for all the news that should be fun.
Thanks for watching That Park Place News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.